Welcome back to Thor God of Thunder HD, and now on to the final chapter.
Oh no,
Asgard
Thanos is
Besieged.
attacking with one of those portal things.
No. So it's just basically, Mangog has managed to have the power to summon both Infernirs and Jotuns. For some reason. I don't understand.
Way to call Infinity War. Also, that guy is literally wearing Loki's armor for some reason.
No, those are the traditional Asgardian soldier armor. They were also in the movie. Once again, I think we just saw some concept art and ran through there with just a basic idea of what the movie plot was going to be.
So it would seem.
Anyway, for now the level starts relatively nicely, but almost immediately, after Thor will rescue some of his friends, almost immediately this will be the moment where the game will stop being just boring at best and will become a pile of bullshit. Not even kidding. During my original run, since like I mentioned, this is the game that I didn't make a blind run because I actually got it way before because it was the more common sold of the Marvel games, published by Sega. And I actually tried it for Kings, but this was basically the point where I rage quitted. And when I was recording officially for this, I was actually dreading this part because, not joking, what is about to come is beyond bullshit, a complete tone shift that the game, in terms of gameplay, the game has, and that I'm not even sure it's normally possible for one of its particular trophies tied to it, but all in a second. For now, we just need to clear the place. Oh, hey, Loki.
Now.
Thor, you've returned. And with the power of scabrite. Where's Mangog? Odin stands against the...
Oh, apparently, guess what?
I guess Odin got out of the
Guess
Odin
what?
sleep.
Oh, the is off screen is away because Odin woke up off screen.
Yeah, weird. Isn't it supposed to take longer for him to wake up?
I guess the Odin sleep just works however the fuck it wants.
Maybe that is why Dwebs left.
However the plot wants it to. Jesus.
Sif? She has recovered? It's a funny story, really. You see...
You know how a father can revive people.
There you go. This also is the payoff for Loki's all betrayal and scheming. For Thor, he just receives a pat on the back and he's like, yeah, we have more important things to do right now.
I know you are.
Well, I guess to Thor's credit, he doesn't know that Loki pretty much stabbed him in the back and tried to set him
he
up
knows.
to die.
The dialogue pretty much tells, if not now, later on the dialogue will pretty much tells that he knows. He just right now doesn't care because I guess, yeah, true hero, he prioritized saving these people and all, but Loki still acted very maliciously. He should have deserved at least a scolding from Thor,
Wow.
But he doesn't do that.
I mean, going off of the dialogue here, I didn't think that Thor knew, but if you say he knows, then...
Well, okay, Joe, it will become more apparent by their next major interaction at one of the observatories. For now, we just need to clear also this area, which leads to the Bifrost, as we've lost it called.
Wow, this PowerPoint slideshow looks impressive.
Hey, Dwibs, guess what?
Guess what, Dwibs? Odin woke up from the Odin sleep off screen.
And earlier than he's supposed to.
You left at the right time.
Don't you see, guys? It's not really the Odin sleep; it's more like the Odin nap.
Again, it really does not make any sense. It's like that Odin sleep
and he was
seems to
telling
only...
a bunch of Odin lies.
That Odin sleep only seems to work the way the plot wants it to. Granted, the movie was kind of guilty of this too, but that was more for dramatic irony.
We don't know how much time has passed. It could be basically all happening across one day or something.
I don't know.
What
was it that slideshow earlier? I thought we were
once again, the performance is atrocious for this version.
Again, if you want a game with better performance, you are better just sticking off with the Wii version.
Well, honestly, Jover, if I wanted a good game like this, where it's just a good beat 'em up, I'd play or any
of
Devil May
War.
Cry game.
Devil
Yeah.
May Cry. Hell.
The MC performed better than this.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The first
Even
Devil
the
May
base
Cry.
version of DMC at least was stable in frame rate.
You are talking about the first Devil May Cry game, right?
What the remake, the reboot. It's true.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. That. Granted, that
Just
is.
strictly performance-wise, Jova. Don't
Granted,
worry.
that is not a high hallmark to cover, but
Alright,
yes,
here we
you
go.
are right.
Alright, this is the moment. This is the moment. Right now, out of nowhere, you know, guys, this already boring hack and slash needed something to spice things up. What happened to the cape?
Why was
So,
it flapping?
the developers decided to give an adrenaline injection of transforming the entire Asgard city into an escort mission. What you're supposed to do right now, Thor will have to jump onto the observatory, forgot what it's specifically called, examine different parts of the city, and he will have to journey through them multiple times, mind you, while a morale meter goes constantly off, and he will have to perform increasingly difficult tasks to keep this morale high. If you fuck up at any moment, the morale bar will basically plummet down and will count as a game over. So basically, the game that is now taking its slow pace in terms of everything, combat, movement, story, and everything, now asks you to turn a ship and go over 9,000. This is fucked up. Like, beyond fucked up. For example, now you have to concentrate entirely on destroying the assault drills from Muspelheim, because if you don't do that, each of them fleeing lowers the morale bar quite significantly, mind you, and they come in packs of 4 and 5, but you also have to stay away from the Inferniers, which will constantly attack you. So as you can imagine, this first section already is a complete nightmare. Why the fuck did you do that?
So in a
Why?
sense, it's kind of like a boss rush, but without the bosses. Instead,
Honestly, I will take gladly a boss rush, because at least I don't have this fucking meter constantly haunting me.
Jesus.
This is one of the worst cases of an escort mission, where your protege completely can't do pretty much anything. Your efforts are there just to save the bare minimum, you know, and you're constantly jeopardized by literally everything on screen, because this is also the end of the game, so everything in a kitchen sink has to be thrown at you, you know. I'm actually surprised that the meter actually can go partially up if you perform really, really good, and by the game standards it means almost AI precision. So
you know what this
almost
means
impossible from you.
story-wise, Teo? That means if you perform very good, that means Asgard
You're a
gets
god.
Asgard gets repaired for every good thing you do somehow.
Sorta. It's not necessarily a physical representation of the city, but again, the morale of the remaining Heinihar, you know, and the other Asgardians
So apparently, if you don't do badly enough, the citizens lose hope.
just gives up. Yes.
Wow,
and
that
you know
is
what's
hard.
the worst part, Jova?
What?
There is a trophy achievement where you can manage to, if you can manage to complete this section with a morale at, I think, 60 or 75% high, which, keep in mind, I'm playing on easy mode. I have no idea how good you're supposed to do in order to perform this task. To say that this is, beyond the fact that this is bullshit, this is just stressing. And again, at the tail end of this game, yes, Heimdall. Hey, and by the way, Heimdall will constantly give you battle reports, you know, about how the battle is going and how morale is going. And if you're not performing well, he will constantly haunt you and saying, "Thor, we are losing. You have to keep moving," and stuff like that.
You gotta wonder, do the soldiers somehow see how Thor is doing? Like, how does how he's doing affect their morale? Unless they're watching us on the TV, but then that would mean that they're slacking off on their duties.
I guess it's your actions here influence events of somewhere else, because remember, we're stopping in these particular mini missions the Infernal drills, which basically instead will be used as projectiles against other people. So the more we destroy, the less lives lost we prevent, you know. But in other missions, there will also be Einihar on screen, so there will be actual soldiers for them to see. And again, the only minor saving grace for all its worth of this entire thing is that the missions are certainly not repetitive. You will have to either destroy certain targets, before you fuck up too many times, protect one big target, perform a literal turret defense section, or defeat a boss before all the other, your other proteges die. But all of this has to be done with the fucking morale bar going on. If it was just this set of missions, without the morale bar constantly haunting you, I would tolerate this much more and would say that the game is just fine. But this is the game breaker. This is why I wouldn't recommend this game to anyone. At least Hulk 2000 or the Incredible Hulk 2008 or the Iron Man games had. Maybe not the first Iron Man game, but I'll explain in a second. But at least Iron Man 2 and Incredible Hulk 2008 were not this particularly bullshit when it came to escort missions. The first Iron Man had that section where Pepper is trapped, so that's bullshit. And by the way, after you defeated all the minor drills, the Inferno will try to activate other drills, and you will have to defeat them in time, otherwise you will lose a huge chunk of the morale meter. I learned this the hard way.
It really does say something that a game that, for the most part, was otherwise functional, now has something that arguably makes it worse than the previous game.
I have no idea. I guess this was part of the rushness, because I can't explain how this particular shift was, well regarded by literally anyone in the team. I guess they really just on the deadline were okay, we need to rush things out, let's not even play test this thing.
Let's put things into perspective here. For the most part, this game is better, but then it pulls this at the very end, which makes it effectively more BS than the previous game. So, you gotta wonder, which will it be? The game that's consistently bad, like Incredible Hulk, or the game that tricks you into thinking it'll be better,
I will potentially still take this over Incredible Hulk 2008, but that's not saying much, unfortunately. Anyway, in this particular section, you need to energize the 3 rooms that are around the Gala Horn, the giant horn, that were used also in the first mission. But the Jotuns will constantly try to reconquer the rooms from your grasp. So it's basically a game of capture the flag, sorta. Capture the control points, basically. And basically, the more you leave them in the control of Jotunheims, the worse the morale bar will get. So try to get all of them as much as you can, as fast as you can.
It's a really bad sign of a game mechanic when, 1, it doesn't make sense story-wise. 2, despite it not making sense story-wise, it's not even fun to work with. 3, it is incredibly unfair. 4, there's a BS achievement attached to it. That just really is the icing on the cake.
For that achievement, unless you're really enthusiastic about Trophy's achievement, and even if I'm normally, I have my limits, and this is like one of them. But everything else, pretty much checks out.
Hence why I said that the achievement thing is like the icing on the cake. It is by no means the most substantial thing.
I guess it can be viewed as a final taunt from the developers.
That's the thing, though. It's like, why make a mechanic that doesn't even make sense when really it's not even fun to work with?
Not just that, the game has had no foreshadowing, or preparation over this. All of a sudden, bam! Escort mission, giant escort mission. Good luck, dipshit.
At least it makes sense if the mechanic is fun. That's usually the reason for gameplay and story segregation. Because a game might not be as fun if you could do all you could in the cutscenes or whatnot. Fair enough. However, this literally breaks logic and reality just for the sake of some BS difficulty. One of the worst possible reasons you could ever have to do anything in a video game is fake difficulty.
Anyway, I energized all 3 rooms, which means I only have to sound the Gala Horn after I'm done. I'm done with the warriors, so I just need to sound. Galahorn should be fine.
It's kind of weird they don't even retread all the worlds for this part. You'd think they would, but nope.
No, you're just from Asgard, in Asgard defending from just the Infernals and the Jotuns. Like I said, the Skraelings and the Trolls don't come into play either. They're just stranded on Vanheim. Poor bastards.
That section really was the most pointless world when you get down to it.
It also was arguably the slowest.
You know, the morality meter makes you kind of think, like, if it goes down to 0, does everyone just suddenly
Give
grow,
up,
like,
yes.
They suddenly grow and go, oh,
Hold
we're
on,
done.
we're about to have an argument, a bit of an argument between Loki and Thor.
Oh boy.
Thor-kun.
Later, Trickster.
Really?
Asgard needs every.
Gotta love how both of them have completely stoned off their asses.
Get out there.
I'm sorry, I still don't give a shit.
No, not just sounding tail, even looking.
Whoa,
like they even
Loki,
look
what is up with your eyes there?
They just, they sparkle. Is this Nino Kuni too?
Return to the Galahorn.
They were.
Oh, guess what? Now we need to return to the Galahorn for one of the worst intermediate missions of a bunch. Because guess what? Now, since energizing the rules didn't work, the Jotuns want to destroy entirely the thing. And if they do, a huge chunk of the Galahorn, a huge chunk of the morality system goes down with it. And I'm sorry, I tried this multiple times because I couldn't, properly achieve it, and I couldn't consistently manage to avoid the destruction of the Galahorn. I have no idea how specific you need to go in this particular stage destroying the targets. Anyway, I decided to speed up again. This time is the Spectre of Torment version of Polar Knight's stage.
Ah, yes. I'm guessing you... yeah, Spectre of Torment, that's your favorite campaign in the Shovel Knight games, isn't it?
Gameplay-wise, yes. Well, to be honest, gameplay-wise, I like all of them. To be, it's hard to choose, definitely. Story-wise, I know that Spectre of Torment is more important, but I have a soft spot for Plague Knight.
Ah, of course.
I mean, keep in mind, it was minor spoiler, but to be honest, everyone knows about the story of Shovel Knight at this point, but minor spoiler, it's the only one that has a consistent good ending, so out of a bunch.
I guess you could say Shovel Knight's technically does, if you stick around for after
Shovel
the
Knight
credits.
is more bittersweet, I guess.
Well, technically, Amico, if you stick around for after the credits, you know who turns out to be...
Yeah. Anyway, this is the literal tower defense section, and keep in mind, once again, similar to the Bog Giant section, as you can see, I'm speeding up, but the enemy movement is still so fucking slow, and you have to go through all of them. The good news is that you have 2 cannons operated by the Einhar, which means that you don't have to do all the work, and the enemies... the slow movement actually comes to your advantage, thankfully. The bad news is that probably at this point your morale system is already low, meaning that you have to, fight tooth and nail for every single inch that you can get of that fucking meter.
Goodness gracious. Anyway, I think I can see, actually, going back to it, yeah, you definitely are right about Plague Knight having the most consistently happy ending.
But gameplay-wise, I guess it's a tie, gameplay-wise, to me, between Spectre and King Knight.
Knight, you ended up enjoying King Knights.
Strictly gameplay-wise, mind you. I didn't make no secret that I wasn't really liking the constant delays because the Yacht Club was taking his really sweet time to release all the remaining modes at once instead of like just one here and there. Anyway, for this campaign, you just need to defeat a boss before all the other Einhar are defeated.
Surprised you didn't use Polar Knight's actual boss theme for this speed-up section.
But for King Knight's campaign, I think it was worth it because I actually ended up really liking the Joust 2's card game. I thought I wouldn't,
really,
but it surprisingly caught me. Even though I wouldn't totally mind an actual physical edition of it. No joke, it's like Gwent in The Witcher.
Wow, that's a nice surprise.
Anyway, as you may have noticed, I just barely managed to win. I was close to say, "Oh God, I lost this time too."
Oh
But
dear.
anyway, I think now we're pretty much done. So we need, actually, yeah, we need another conversation with Loki, and then another mini section when we're good to go against Mangog.
Loki, I thought I told you to
Don't make me raise my voice.
I did. I was at the training ground.
Totally.
I saw.
You are a coward.
and they
Yeah,
had-
guess what? Now the Inferniers are bringing a scabrite bomb because a bomb.
So what's next? The kitchen sink?
With what, brother? An illusion? A clever retort? A raise of my eyebrow?
Yes, those things actually
That's
work.
kind of what you do,
That's
so
your entire
yeah.
shtick.
Jesus, Loki,
Let's
when
be
did you
the
become so
goddess.
stupid?
Ever since I haven't been written by writers that have no idea what they're doing.
But that's the problem. The writer is an actual comic book writer with experience under his belt. How did he manage to fuck this
Maybe,
up?
maybe,
Well,
if it, maybe.
so was Frank Miller, and
When I say experience under his belt, I mean that it doesn't write crap
Well,
constantly.
maybe that experience doesn't extend to 4, I guess.
Actually, I think he did, but keep in mind, gotta be honest, I don't myself have much experience reading this guy. I only had to
Anyway.
go through what people told me. Go on with.
Anyway, on the subject of the MCU, it's recently been confirmed officially that Sam Raimi is going to be making the Doctor Strange sequel.
Very nice.
So what? So basically, we couldn't just bring actors from other superhero movies into the MCU. Now we bring a director. Actually,
Nice. Hey, I love the original
Does this
Spider-Man
mean-
trilogy, so by all means, bring him on for Doctor Strange.
does this mean that Bruce Campbell is gonna be in the MCU finally?
I would actually love that.
Oh my
What
god,
kind of-
Pedro. It's
What
funny
kind
you
of role
mentioned that.
we can have him?
It's funny- Wait,
Go on, sorry.
it's funny you guys mentioned that. See, originally there was this big going around that. Originally, you know how Bruce Campbell constantly showed up in Spider-Man movies? Originally, it was going...
Because now it's time actually to defeat Mangog, but pay attention to the sound because I actually haven't edited this.
In my rush to vengeance, I let the creature loose. That is true. But I was not
Uh-oh.
unadvised. And what two have wrought, two can put to right. Two? Come.
Hold on, wait for it. They actually used the Willem screen.
Yes!
Why?
Yes!
That's usually reserved for movies. Why is it here?
But that's the
Why
problem.
not?
The Willem. But Loki sounds nothing. Tommy Hiddleston's tone doesn't sound at all like the Willem screen.
Well,
Also, there you go, Dweebs. You wanted Odin to actually do something. He's trying to, failing miserably. But
Yeah.
and despite...
It's better than nothing.
Oh.
I believe that's what is known as the Odin fail.
Oh, you gotta
to
love
be
this.
honest, he's gonna be supportive for the battle. There you go. Using his trusty spear, Mjolnir.
Don't worry, Thor. I'll be the Odin cheerleader.
No, using his trusty spear, Mjolnir, it will provide us points that we can exploit in order to chip away Mangog's armor. So there you go, this is the final boss. It's another one of the giant standard boss fight, but it does spike things up in terms of the type of attacks it provides and the different weak points that you have to exploit. You can't just grab this thing out of nowhere from the front. You have to wait specific signal, grab the tail, for example, arrive when Mjolnir is jammed in and starts to mashing that. Anyway, continue, Jova, in the meantime.
What were we talking about?
About the Sam
Bruce
Raimi.
Campbell.
Oh yeah. Apparently it was going to turn out that Bruce Campbell was actually the same character every now and then who was messing with Peter Parker's life. And who would that guy have turned out to have been?
Mephisto?
Nope, Mysterio actually.
Sure,
I
I suppose.
I mean, that'd be awesome, but Jake Gyllenhaal already did a good job as Mysterio. So,
What I'm saying is well maybe he'll play the second Mysterio.
You can have more.
know.
I mean,
Legacy characters are a thing, Libs.
Comics having more than one version of a character running around
Dwibs.
is one thing, but movies?
Well, technically the original Mysterio is dead, so it's not like we'd have the
Is
confusion
he,
anyway.
though? I mean, he's Mysterio, he can fake his death. He fakes everything else.
Well, okay, take your bets, guys. Is Mysterio from the MCU dead? I'm willing to bet he is, since, you know, the MCU...
Well, considering that Disney managed to just in the nick of buy the what's the right term to use in
fact,
English? Hold on, Waves. Just by the Edge managed to have a deal to conclude the Spider-Man saga in a last movie. I'm pretty sure that he's gonna stay dead, even if they wanted otherwise.
Yeah.
In fact, how do we? In fact, interesting thing. How do we know that Mysterio didn't hallucinate all the stuff in the MCU from Civil War onwards?
What?
Or something.
Why necessarily from Civil War onward? Why not even beforehand?
That's when he got fired.
So you're telling me that everything that's been happening in Phase 4 is going to...
It's the coma theory.
If you want to have an ass pull, you can easily say that all of the MCU was just a simulation that Mysterio was trying to idealize when he was still working at Stark Enterprises, and not even the first Iron Man happened.
Yeah. Turns out Thanos died halfway through his journey to
Back
Earth,
on his way to Blue Planet.
so he turns out Thanos died halfway through his journey to Earth because he accidentally pressed the self-destruct button. So it was a fake Thanos all along.
Nothing was real to begin with. Anyway, Mangog's about to die.
I mean, that is something a comic book plot.
Jesus Christ.
Wouldn't it be?
Anyway, time for a change of pace again, because it's Sega. Now it's gonna start mashing projectiles, so it's time for you to make good use of the counter projectile moving on. I find it more hilarious that this projectile looks like, the material of a reality stone.
Anyway, onto a theory that I didn't come up with just for the lols. I'm wondering though. I mean, Sam Raimi hasn't. I don't think Sam Raimi's directed a film since Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oh.
Has he?
At most, he's just been producing films.
Well, I mean,
so he at least has a career.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a good director.
Yeah, no, it's just directing's different from producing,
Well, I mean, again, it's not like Oz the Great and Powerful was even a bad movie, so by all means, let him on, so long as he doesn't have to deal with any stupid executive mandates.
But Jerva, what are you talking about? The MCU makes all directors have their films be all the same.
What am I saying? Somehow, Avi...
conversation.
Just watch Avi Arad somehow be involved with this movie, too.
He's like that guy who will always haunt Raimi, no matter where he goes.
Raimi has gone...
Support, Odin. Jesus Christ.
Raimi has gone on record to talk about how much he really did not like the production of Spider-Man 3 thanks to executive mandates.
By Mr. Arad. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Hold on.
Oh, hey, Loki.
Hold on. Yeah, you wanted Loki to do something in battle. There you go. He's going to distract Mangog in order to give us an advantage.
Yay!
Meanwhile,
You waited to this long to do something.
Remind me again, what year was Sonic Generations released?
2011.
Yeah, this was, I think, a bit before. But still,
came out in November 2011, I think.
Although in these cases, we're just like two people and we're doing a bit something more than telling Thor that looks like a homing shot, I suppose. But yeah, you're right in a sense that Sam Raimi, movie-wise, as Doctor Strange as his next project after Oz, but it's because in between has done, TV series, I think in the meantime, like
I think he
the
did,
Evil Dead series.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange 2 was apparently supposed to be, superhero horror. If anyone could tackle that, I would definitely put Sam Raimi on the job.
I haven't seen Drag Me to Hell, so I don't... Well, and to be honest, Evil Dead has basically turned into more comedy horror. I haven't seen Drag Me to Hell, so I don't know.
Is Drag Me to Hell the new series?
Sorry?
Is Drag Me to Hell the new series on Netflix?
No. It's actually relatively old by our time now. I think it was like 2006. I'm gonna check. Yeah, 2009. There you go. It was actually a proper horror, so I suppose it returned to fame. Anyway, So are you finally going to die?
It looks like he's just standing there, menacingly.
Also, my god, these flashes.
Ah!
Will that finally do something?
Oh no, not in the crotch! He's literally exorcising him with a lightning bolt. What the fuck am I watching? So there you go. The secret in defeating Mangog, the supposed superpower being, it was just to hit him really, really hard.
Wow, that is literally the
And now
metacore
this is actually
movie.
the ending. We don't even get a CG cutscene or anything, or FMV. It's just an in-game.
I have much
Right,
to atone
cutscene.
for. My rage set this
Although,
beast
I
on
like
fire.
the speech that always about to give to Thor, but even though it means nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Gave it the will to destroy an entire race. You may have freed it, son.
Also the frame rate.
But it was I that created it.
And
lip
not even, like,
syncing.
not a whole lot is moving even.
Look at the lip sync, it's terrible.
Together we
Together. You forget, my son, that within the Odin
Oh.
sleep, I see all.
So Loki didn't even thought minimally this through.
You do realize that this means that Odin will willingly let...
The main villain of the first Avengers movie, everyone.
Mind you, this also means that Odin...
Also, you were pointless, Sif.
You do realize that this means that Odin's gonna let Loki get away with what he does in the first Thor movie, then, if he can see all in the Odin sleep.
Shall benefit from that.
Yeah, he's alright, Odin bastard.
So yeah, for a final, okay, yeah, if I recall correctly, these final cutscene is actually FMV, but still, it's very meh when it sense because of what it is. Odin realizes, well, yeah, since I destroyed this thing, might as well exorcise it for good. All the souls that are contained are free because I say so. Fuck off.
Yay!
May the hatred that formed you beget hatred no more.
So wait, Odin, you're telling me that you're able to command souls to not be hatred anymore if they're in a few
Okay,
states?
Yep.
so,
Hold on, wait for it, and that's it.
so
Not
what
even
is it?
kidding. I get that the music is trying too hard, but this doesn't feel epic in the slightest, and it's not
Like,
even.
no part of this story is
There you
fun.
go. There you go. By the way, minor thing before actually asking you the final thoughts. It's not even a proper case of the credits because it's one of those cases where the game literally jumps into the menu version of the credits, meaning that if you leave them long enough, they start looping. For no reason. They don't actually boot you to the main menu at all. So for all intents and purposes, the game just keeps going if you want.
So,
Anyway.
what happened? Did Odin have throat surgery and get a Welsh accent?
I guess. Again, no bridging between this and the movie. Just tells a cute story at the best. But on in due time. Dweebs, you first. It's a game.
Well, I mean, yeah, but half the time it's like a bloody PowerPoint presentation of how poorly it performs.
So how is it as a PowerPoint presentation?
Oh, as a PowerPoint presentation, it's spectacular. But this isn't meant to be a PowerPoint presentation, though. That's the problem. It's a video game. And the video game is supposed to be able to
Move properly.
play it, move properly and all that stuff. It's like I know it's a PowerPoint presentation, but damn, I mean, PowerPoint presentation animations and the actual slides themselves move more smoothly than this game does half the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the gameplay looks okay. That's about it. I don't really know. I can't really remember much of the music. It's just generic goddess music and all that.
Yeah, Ilzur was trying just a bit too hard with this one.
Yeah. I mean, the actors look like, the character models look like the ones from the movie, all right. It's just sound-wise.
You mentioned how not convincing Tom Kane is as a replacement, from Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, he sounds nothing like Anthony Hopkins.
What do you think instead of the genuine articles? Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston for their roles.
Well, I mean, okay, okay. I mean, they at least clear the low bar of Robert Downey Jr. in the first game.
But not as
Okay.
good as Edward Norton in the second Incredible.
Jova, no.
Yeah, no.
So I'm guessing you consider Robert Downey Jr. better than Edward Norton in his own game.
Yeah, because at least Robert Downey Jr. Inflicted a little bit, whereas Edward Norton, I swear, you could. It's like he took all the It's like he took all the bloody chamomile tea in the world before he recorded his lines.
But Dwibs, there's a beast inside of me. I wake up every night feeling like it will burst out.
Are you sure you wake up every night?
Your dad explains it. He doesn't get enough sleep. That's why he sounds like that.
Carry on.
I mean, Hemsworth and Hiddleston, they're fine. Sif didn't get to do much, so I can't really say that. Heimdall, he was,
How
I mean,
about Mangog?
Mangog.
Who?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
one with 5 voices.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
yeah.
there's one thing that this game
yeah.
reflects from the Phase 1 MCU is the fact that the villain, despite the developers in this case trying way too hard, is unfortunately not well presented, not well characterized at all, and it comes off as very generic and just one note.
Wait.
Congratulations, Lives. They saved the Thor example for the game, not the movie.
They had lines.
Multiple. Well, I get it was confusing because it was like 5 people having to talk at the same time. So
I don't know. No, that's about it. It's just a game that's there, and you play it, and then you just kind of forget about it like a couple of days afterwards and move on to something else.
yeah, already forgot.
Yeah. What was this game again?
Yeah. Chiri, next.
It's a licensed game. Like, it is what it is, but considering what story it is, it should have been at least a lot more impactful, because it just wasn't at all at any point. And it's just very clunky overall, aside from that. The music is pretty serviceable, I guess. And yeah, that's it.
All right, Pedro.
It sucks. Next.
Jova.
Oh boy, I mean, it really says something that I may have to consider ranking this even lower than the previous games, but that final stretch, man. Okay, let's just start off with it. For the most part, you feel like it holds out. Okay, it doesn't hold out. It holds on. Okay, it falls off the cliff. It tries and fails, but okay. For the most part, it's consistent. Granted, it's consistently bland, dull, and grating with how much a drag it feels like to play through this game. And you think that's the worst that'll come of it? Oh no. The story is absolutely terrible on its own and in regards to how it lines up with the movie that it was originally supposed to be adapting, but is just a prequel for. Because it turns out Thor not only had to learn his lesson twice, but Odin got tricked twice by Loki as well, despite him
And Loki
saying,
got easily forgiven.
yeah. And you're telling me that, they just were able to let this all pass for good old Loki. Ah, boy. Also, Sif, why were you even here?
Just to suffer.
At least
Literally.
at least in the first movie, it felt like she got to do something before she became the meme that she is nowadays for how little she gets to do. But dang, man, just dang. unless your name is Thor, you ain't really doing much in this. Oh, except if you're Loki, but oh, what? Let's not even pretend like Loki really mattered in the long scheme of things. Like, he hatches a plan, yeah, but Thor pretty much does all the work. And even still, Loki just so easily has his plan fail. It's honestly amazing how much they try to make him a Syndrome knockoff in this game. Because his plan is exactly Syndrome's, only not nearly as compelling. And Tom Hiddleston sounds like he's trying, but half the time sounds like he's been hit with a horse tranquilizer. Chris Hemsworth is in this weird homeostasis of never being able to rise, but technically not being the worst voice actor we've seen. He occasionally can get a line good, but for the most part, he just sounds coked out of his mind. Tom Kane sounds like he's trying, it's just a shame that he sounds absolutely nothing like Odin from the movies. Mangog is just weird with how he or she or whatever they sound like.
It's an amalgamation of souls, Joe. I think they is a more appropriate term, I guess.
And the forest level deserves a special mention for how pointless, how much of a drag, how dull, and how much wasted potential it has, seeing as how it has arguably some of the more unique boss fights, but again, we never pay mind to those ever again, story-wise or gameplay-wise. And that boat sequence. What the fudge? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It all culminates to a game that, again, despite being consistently there, somehow feels like it manages to sink lower than Incredible Hulk and the Iron Man games with that last stretch and how BS it is. It is terrible. Like, honestly, I would recommend the Incredible Hulk game before recommending this. At least with the Incredible Hulk game, you can get some amazing glitches out of that with how bugged that game is. And at least it doesn't feel borderline impossible. This one is a test of endurance, my friends. And it is not for the faint of heart, for all the wrong reasons. Next.
Alright, yeah, that leaves me. I'll be quick because I pretty much said all I need to in the main game. This is just bland at best. I get the ideas and efforts. I totally do. It's just that tell because the budget, or because it's rushed, or whatever you want to make excuse you want to make up. It just doesn't work. It's passable in like one or two sequences. The general gameplay has a good idea but lacks impact and variety. The music is certainly trying hard, but it's nothing that I will remember. Ion Zur is a good video game composer. Don't let this game put you down to it. For example, for all its problems, I can still remember and hum the Prince of Persia 2008 theme because it's just that memorable, for me at least. This one doesn't really get that luxury, even though it's trying to be similar to the MCU traditional themes. The story it's a good fan service if you're a comic book fan, I suppose, but it doesn't serve anything for the bigger picture here, and it's just pointless. Not even in the sense of character development, because Thor doesn't get any, aside from learning a lesson immediately and forget immediately before the next movie. Loki is as at its most incompetent, even with the hindsight of the entire MCU. This is probably the most incompetent Loki has ever been. Even worse than the first Avengers, because in the first Avenger, he still is a serious threat, as we will see for that eventual movie commentary. This game makes him a complete idiot who bankrolled on a plan where he didn't consider a couple of easily thought variables, something that Loki would immediately do. So it's bullshit on that regard. Odin does scolds a bit Thor, goes to sleep, knows everything, and somehow forgives everyone at the end. Even though Mangog was entirely his fault by his own admission. But it's okay, he just frees the souls, so he can get a pass too. Everyone gets a pass today. Well, not the developers, I'm sorry. this is just forgettable. I will still take this over the Incredible Hulk 2008 and the first Iron Man. I would still take Iron Man 2 over this one, because Iron Man 2 is... I will apply Revenge of the Fallen logic here, similar to Pedro. Iron Man 2 is shorter, and I argue it's a bit more entertaining to play as. This, unfortunately, doesn't have the same qualities. However, this is for Thor God of Thunder, but I do genuinely believe... I can't make a promise for all of you, but... I can hope to say, to be sure that I saved the best, they saved the best for last. Tune in next time, then we will see, thanks to Next Level Games, one particular mission that Captain America and his team decided to do in that kind of montage that we saw during the movie, where they dismantled a couple of Hydra bases. Tune in next time for Captain America Super Soldier.
See you then.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.